So why do you think metal is the most important investment for our future?
Well, it locks in, it preserves what you've got. So in a way, it's like freezing money where it can't get damaged and destroyed even further than it already is. So if you think about the money printing causes commodity prices to go higher, right? Gold and silver is also a financial commodity, so it goes up even higher, more exponentially than maybe other commodities would. And it's a location for money. So if gold is pushed higher by a financial falsehood, then gold in a way is truth in money. And having truth in your money is something incredible when you start thinking about preserving what you think you've got, especially for retirement, when this money printing regime ends, because you're killing a resource. And when that resource, the dollar itself, is over, and gold and silver is the place you would have already wanted to be.
Let me try and take this back simpler to our audience so that they're not everybody quite, I'm trying to understand it. I mean, I own Empire State Properties, which is an investment real estate firm. Right. So I have investors from all over the world that come in, they invest in properties, they invest in appreciation, in location, and they try and get income from, New York used to be much better than it is, but they still are getting a profit from what they invest in. So take us through why somebody would invest in gold or silver as an investment as opposed to real estate.
I would say that your second consideration is gains from gold and silver. The first consideration is I've moved my money away from known risks.
Right.
Falsehoods in the economy, the money printing, inflating of all asset values due to money printing. Real estate's a great example in the way that, the earth isn't going to make any more of it, right? That old saying. So we barely find any gold and silver either each year. We only increase the above ground supply by 1% a year. So scarcity, a trapped asset, I call it. Money chases after that. It does go higher. But your first, the consciousness change is that, oh my gosh, things are so ugly out there. The math is so horrific. The government's not going to change course. I need to someday, before this shell game ends, have relocated my money out of the dollar, my savings, my wealth out of the dollar into a currency that can't be destroyed by the government before trouble really comes.
I talked to you earlier, and I want to put it on the record now, just my history.
Sure.
That my parents were in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And they had to come to this country, and they didn't have any money. They were in camps, and they had nothing. But somehow they managed to get some gold coins, and they came to this country by literally paying off guards to get through some borders. Yeah. So I has always been told, you have to have gold, have to have gold. After September 11th, I was a victim of the World Trade Center, and I ran out and bought gold.
Right.
So it's always been my mindset. So tell my audience, so I understand it very well.
Yes.
But why would somebody, in real estate, you see what you get, you own it, it's a home, it's going to always be there. Gold, it could get stolen. It goes up, it goes down. Tell us from way back, why is that a safe haven, in your opinion?
One way to consider what your parents went through was they were dealing with one hell of a math problem, because man's paper money was worthless. What other financial resource would others accept as something valuable in an exchange for goods or services? They found gold coins that bought them their freedom. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Right. So gold and silver still buys you your financial freedom.
Because it's a world currency?
Because it can't be printed or made in a lab, and it's really hard to find. Maybe the earth is covered in it, but guess what covers the earth? 70% of the earth's covered by an ocean. So we're never going to get all there is. Oil, we can stick a straw down in the ground in the ocean, the Gulf, or in land and find oil. You can't do that with gold and silver. Eventually, you're going to reach a point where you really aren't finding it anymore, and that scarcity is what preserves its value.
Oh boy, people are going to run and buy more gold right now. I want to go buy some gold.
Yeah.
You think there's a finite amount of gold?
Extraordinarily finite.
Well, what about India? What about, there's plenty of gold in these other countries.
We increased the above ground supply, where there's 14% more gold and silver above the surface of the earth today than 2010. 14% over a 14-year period of time. And the mining reports do discuss that they are struggling to continue to even stay at that pace of discovery. It's very hard to find gold and silver. So I've read some expert reports on the theory of gold and silver. It was shot into the Earth's surface before we had an atmosphere. So when you find oil, it's in a lake. When you look for gold and silver, it's in a vein. So you got to cross-cut soil and do all this drilling and take soil samples to try to identify, is there a vein, and find it, and then start mining the vein. The world's full of coal. The world's full of oil. Gold and silver is created, incredibly, by two colliding suns. And so what's interesting about that is the gold and silver you might be wearing or have in your portfolio is older than the planet you're standing on.
Wow.
So it's scarce stuff.
It's